Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am on day number 15. Yeah, day number 15. Meditation I wrote last night. Now I'm reading it today. And tonight I will do another one and read it tomorrow. So that's how it works. It's been actually pretty cool because this gives me a chance to have like little breaks between writing and then recording and then writing and recording. So instead of like doing it all in one block, which takes about 2 hours, depending on how much I write, I'm doing it in two blocks of like 15 to 20 minutes each. So it makes it a little bit easier and it's a little bit, I don't feel as stressed about it. I feel a lot more relaxed with it, which is really quite good. And so anyway, I started a new notebook today. This is a different one. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I may pull some cards afterwards. I just depends on how I feel. I have my cards here, Gilded Tarot Royale. I love this deck. I really do. I actually like it more than the Gilded Tarot, which is the earlier incarnation of probably this deck. But at any rate, um, but I'll probably at some point I will actually use the Gilded Tarot cards again, just to keep the energy flowing with them. But at the moment, I'm stuck on the Gilded Tarot Royale for some reason. So, yeah, so this is day number 15. It's from January 25th, 2026. Of course, today is January 26th, 2026. And you know the way I do this. So anyway, so I'm on day number 15 here. And I start out by saying, it sometimes boggles my mind that people only seem to care about others when the consequences or impacts only affect them personally. I wish that was not the case. It is as though people only find their conscience when something hits close to home. Sunshine says it's true. You are someone who thinks how things affect other people and are empathetic. Sometimes in the hurried ways of people, the notion of feeling for others goes by the wayside. You are not always going to be emotionally affected directly. It is because the level of care that you have for other people becomes the way you view the world. He said, I'm currently hearing a story. A rich and rather nasty man finds a girl, and then after she's gone, he discovers that she is his niece. I mean, why do people only try to make amends with others when they are relatives? Why can't people just be nice to people because they are nice? It's pretty sad that people are willing to only see themselves as kind when when there is something in it for them personally. Sunshine says sometimes it becomes easier for people to discover the thing called compassion when it does have an impact on them personally. It It is that disinterest in society that has created many of the problems that currently exist for people today. You are seeing the growth of communal good emerging at this juncture of human history. With that, the notion of dismissing others and not caring will dissolve in the world, and the use or connection between people will emerge in such a way that people will open their eyes and see that relations or not, people are connected through a bond of caring. I said, what I see is people only caring when it is conducive for them to do so. Sunshine says, that is a jaded perspective. I said, well, maybe it is, but look at the general populace. The only time some people seem to care about the situation is when when the consequences have an economic or family loss for them. The people are pretty much only in this for themselves. Isn't that why they voted for him? Sunshine says, not all, but I can see why you are jaded, specifically given how things are in the world. You live in a world that is filled with so much hurt and pain. The loss of human life is being concealed or justified by lies, greed, and selfishness. The world is waking up to the notion that all of the events that are happening on a galactic snowball growing larger and larger and becoming bigger, a catastrophe as it rolls down a virtual hill. The truth is, Yvette, the events in the world, your question about your voice, the leaning on spiritual concepts are all interwoven and connected. You are asking why you cough. You are being told that all of the events are building a large lump in your throat. You are living in a world that depends on the notion of the weight of the world landing on your shoulders. All of these things are connected, woven together in a tapestry of concepts, sometimes leading you into a realm of ideals, magic, and spiritual distractions that can make things as hard or as easy as you imagine. I said, I'm not sure I understand. You're saying that all of this isn't interwoven, my voice, the events in the world, and my hope for some spiritual awakening. How do all these things connect? And am I doing something wrong in trying to grasp the notions of the spiritual and coping with all of this? Please help me to understand. Sunshine says, okay, the things that are woven together through you. These things are woven together through you. The concept seems easy enough to grasp, but the notion is more complex than you can imagine. First, let's take your voice. You use your voice to speak, to express your opinions and ideals. You also use it to sing. What happens when you have an idea that you want to express but can't seem to find the words to express it? I said, I get a lump in my throat. Exactly, she says. The lump tries to dislodge itself through coughing. Remember that show about 9/11 when the woman had the cough and it was about her not being able to cry or express her emotions? The same thing is happening to you. You feel an emotional dragging on you. You are not able to express your feelings, much of which have to do with the goings on in the world. And that lump is now lodged in your throat. The connection becomes a massive sort of trepidation, of sadness, and of the realization that the sadness is not going anywhere. The release, as was the case with the champagne cork in your dream, is not yet here, and you must contend with the overwhelming emotion that comes with it. That is how your voice and these things are connecting to one another. Once you recognize this, then it will begin to dissolve. It is like seeing a persistent problem and then deciding to release the emotional strains that come along with it. I said, so that is how all of this is connected. How does the connection between these things change? Sunshine says, you just allow yourself to feel what you feel about them. It is not a question of you just crying and releasing this, but now that you understand, it will make things easier to release. I said, you make it sound easy. She said, well, consider this. It is easy. You already know and understand that the events have an impact, but it is also how you contend with them. That is where spirituality and tools come from. You shouldn't concern yourself about being too deeply involved in spiritual things. Just allow yourself to be. There's no wrong way to cope or contend with these issues of the day. It is why you listen to stories or watch movies. You can only listen to so much. You can only do so much. Then you need to a chance to recharge and regroup yourself. That is always there. That is why there is no wrong or right way with spiritual ideals. I said, thank you. I think I'm ready to end for today. You have given me something to think about. And she says, always glad to help. Till next time. So that's where we ended. And I think she's right. I think that because I was contemplating the whole spiritual thing yesterday. I was wondering, is there too much, or is it for the wrong reasons, or what have you? But the thing is, with spirituality and with anything in a spiritual realm, and any tools that you use for, oracle cards or tarot or the dowsing rods or the pendulums, all of these things are a part of helping people reach into their spiritual selves and find answers to questions that they may be having. And I think that this is specifically what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to find answers and finding myself discouraged when I can't find the answers or when the answers that come aren't the answers that I really want. And along with that is this lump in the throat, this feeling of, trepidation of all the things that are going on. Because every one of us, whether we realize it or not, I think every one of us are probably looking at the news with that sense of trepidation. There's that sense of, what's going to happen next or how are things going to resolve. So we have to kind of contend with that, and we have to connect with our guides and with with our internal selves, that voice inside of us. See, most people think that, they don't call it their guides. They tend to call it the voice inside or their conscience or what have you that comes forth and tells them or guides them in a certain direction. To me, that is the guides. That is the guides communicating with us with regards to all of the things that are happening. So I thought, that this would be a little bit easy, that I would come up with something to pull cards on. And I want to do a reading. I think that what I want to do is, instead of doing a reading on my own spiritual awakening or what have you, I want to do a reading on the energy. Um, we've got February coming up, and there's a lot of stuff happening in the news, a lot of things that are happening, a lot of people are talking about things that are happening in the news. So what I would like to do is I would like to do a general energy read about the month of February and where we're going. I didn't do one for January because I was sick and I figured that, enough people had already done it. So I'm going to do a general energy read on February. What does the energy feel like? What is, in essence going on with this? Why are we, where are we going? Where are we, spiritually? What does the energy feel like for the month of February? So, okay. so, so what I got is the Wheel of Fortune. And my guides really said, stop shuffling when I got this card on top so the Wheel of Fortune. This is for me, this is like the guessing where something's going to land and how the energy is going to actually present itself. Um, a lot of times people, I always think of Animaniacs when I see this card. I think of turn, 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 tell us the lesson that we must learn. And I think that that's what this is. I think that this is about the lesson that we're supposed to learn. What the energy is going to do on February is it's going to teach us something, maybe about endurance, maybe about ourselves, maybe about how strong we really are deep down inside. How are we able to contend with everything that's going on? Now, a lot of psychics and a lot of intuitives are saying that things are going to get harder, that things are going to get harder. And so this is how we decide to contend with that is it has an impact on the energy of this card or what I'm getting from this card. And what I'm getting is basically there's a lot of stuff happening and we have to prepare ourselves. I think Libby said something about putting on that harness to really ground ourselves and to get ourselves, really ready for whatever comes. And I think that that's what this card is basically telling me. Get ready for whatever comes. It may not be easy, it may not be grand, but we'll be prepared and keep our light shining and keep it illuminating and not and keep our energy levels raised, because how we handle everything is going to determine what happens to us, what our fate ultimately is. Oh, and this is interesting. I'm looking at this card, and I think of Narnia because there's a lion at the top, and every time I see a lion, I always think of Aslan, and I think of Narnia because I love that story. And I don't buy into the old religiosity of it, but I do buy into this idea, this notion of good, of kindness, of of strength and power but also of this sense of kindness and this sense of compassion and what have you. And he kind of, that character kind of exudes these qualities. And it's crossed with the magician. The magician in this case is, it's saying the power that is that creates the things that are happening around us. So the magician is that power that's kind of trying to determine how it is that we look at whatever choices we make or whatever things we do, and this is sort of balancing. So the magician in this instance, I think, is all of the power that comes from other people and how that power has an impact on us personally. So, whatever it is that we are experiencing with regards to all of this, this is what we're crossed with. And this is major arcana, so we have to be really, really, mindful of it. And we have to be mindful of the people who have this power, but they're not using the power for the right reasons. They're using it for all the wrong reasons. And so we are kind of sitting there in that place where we have to find the balance within between. Um, the underarching energy is the Page of Swords, and I'm trying to remember this. I can't. The Page of Swords, and I don't know why it is with the royal cards, but I always have a little difficulty. Okay, this says that the Page of Swords is quick-minded, cool, deep, secretive, and analytical. So, yeah, a lot of people are looking at all of the stuff that's going on with an analytical mind. If we do this, then what will happen here? If we make this choice, what will happen over here? And they have to basically try and figure out if what they're doing or what they're deciding is really the right thing to decide. In the immediate past, we have the Two of Pentacles. And keep in mind that the twos are like choices. And it comes across. But with the Pentacles, with the Two of Pentacles, I get this feeling of a balancing act. Because keep in mind, in the Rider-Waite deck, you have the man and he's juggling the two. There's like the infinity sign, and you have the Two Pentacles. And he's trying to balance them. He's trying to juggle them. And that's what I get with this. So you have this guy who is trying to balance or juggle these things. And Pentacles is not just about money and power and that kind of thing, but Pentacles is also about information, about knowledge, about whatever it is that we are, kind of contending with. Is this sort of juggling of information. And because it's in the immediate past, that information has already been released. Some of that information has been released, and it's how we choose to interpret it or how we look at it. The overarching energy is the Page of Wands, yet another page. And the Page of Wands is energetic, cheerful and optimistic. So it's a cheerful, optimistic energy. And what's really interesting is the underarching energy is the Page of Swords, and the overarching energy is the Page of Wands. So you have these pages. So this is like this new youthful energy. So there's like a youthful energy that's kind of taking form here. And you've got two different when you look at the different pages and you look at what their actions are and stuff. The swords are quick-minded, cool, deep, and secretive, and the wands are active and energetic. So you have both of you have under everything. You have that quick wit or quick mind, and you over it you have this the active and energetic energy. So you have both of these things, and they're kind of embracing everything that's going on. So that's what I'm getting. In the immediate future, you have the Nine of Cups, and this is I always call this the friendly barkeep. But look at the mouse in the corner. Be careful of whatever it is you hear, whatever it is you receive. Make sure that you are weighing your options and weighing the positive and the negative with regards to it. Because that's what the energy is kind of telling me. It's telling me you're going to hear a lot of stuff, but be mindful of what it is you accept and what you value or what you view as being truthful. And there was some information that was released recently, and I think that it is something that people have to be mindful of. The information was pretty atrocious. I'm not going to say any names, but I'm going to say that there was some information that was released recently, and a lot of people are questioning whether or not the young man who released this information or who gave this presented this information, if he's telling the truth or not. I don't know. I can't say for sure if what he said is true or what he's. I would like to believe that what he said was truthful, not necessarily because it was so awful that it was just absolutely terrible, but the thing is why would somebody lie about something like that? So yeah, be mindful of what information you accept as real. Internally, you have the Four of Pentacles. This is the person who is like holding the hoarder. I always call this the card of hoarding. So, you know, you've got people who are hoarding the information, hoarding the money. There's a lot of Pentacles energy in this reading, and well, there's a lot of stuff about information in this reading. I should say, not Pentacles energy, but um, stuff about information. And here's again, you have the hoarding of information. And could this be the Justice Department in the U.S.? Could be. But this is the February energy. This is what we're kind of contending with in the month of February. Um, Internally, we have the Nine of Wands. Look at this guy. He is so tired. And I think that this is like the energy that we're all kind of contending with. We're all exhausted. We're all tired of all of the stuff that's going on, and we're kind of contending with that. So it's like this, you have the internally you have this, and externally you have this, and it's crazy. So you're dealing with exhaustion. People are tired. People are just absolutely famished, exhausted. They cannot take any more. And yet he is still sitting there and he's saying, I know I have to take more because the cycle has not yet completed. And so he's still there and he's still continuing with it. Um, Hopes and fears is the world. And this is like the end of a cycle. As I said before, the world is the world is actually the end of the major arcanas in the tarot. This is card number 21. There's 22 cards, starting with 0, going all the way up to 21. So there's 22 cards in the major arcana, and this is the end of the cycle. And so this is what we're hoping for. We're hoping for the end of this particular cycle. We're hoping that this cycle will end and a new cycle will begin. That's what this is. And the final outcome is the Three of Pentacles. And given what I understand about the Three of Pentacles, this is you know what? I can't remember. I can't remember what I was going to say. The Three of Pentacles. Well, I'm just going to look at the image here. These pentacles are hung up, and this guy's holding one up proudly. And this is and I said that this was about information and stuff. So, does this imply that information will be released, that we will find out what is going on? That's a hard call. But I will say this, that when you have information that is being released or that's going to be released, it's going to have an impact on a lot of things, and it's going to have an impact on a lot of people and on the future of a lot of people. And so this may actually, in fact, bring along the change of cycles and the change in the world. So that is, in essence, what I've got as far as the energy in February. What's going to happen in February? I have no idea. What I can say is that I think that there is a good deal of information that is happening in the world. I think that this is becoming a this is becoming an issue with people. I think that we are getting at the prefaces um of something new and something, coming to pass. So what is going to happen? I don't know. Um we could try. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm a little bit out of practice since I swapped to sunshine earlier. Let's just see. Okay. So, okay, sunshine. Show me yes, please. Sunshine, please show me yes. That's okay. So she wants to. Okay. Okay. Let me just do this. Okay, sunshine, are you willing to answer some questions for me? No. Okay. Then I'm not going to do this. Not going to do this. I'll ask her later. I'll talk to her later. She's been helping with the things. So I won't do that. I need to practice with him. I haven't done it in a while. And I do have my pendulum here. Let me see if I can get her to answer me here. Okay. Okay. Round and round means they're ready for a question. Forward and back. This is yes. Side to side is no. Okay. She's cooperating with me on this. Okay, sunshine. Show me yes, please. She went right into it. So she didn't feel like doing the rods today. Okay, thank you. Show me no. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, are we in for massive changes in February? She went right into yes. Yes, we are. Okay, thank you. Clear. Thank you. Does this mean that um that there's going to be a leadership change in a major country? Yes. Okay, thank you. Is the major country in question the US? Okay, she's saying yes. She's going right into yes, and this thing is moving like crazy. Okay, thank you. Clear, please. Okay, thank you. Will the vice president of the US become the new president? No. She's saying no. Okay, thank you, sunshine. Okay, will there be a group, former leaders and leaders taking over the power of the presidency in the US? Okay, yes, yes. Okay, so what Libby projected was like a small group of like Joe Biden and Liz Cheney and some of these other folks, some of these people from both sides of the aisle, but more or less like Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Liz Cheney, and some of these other folks. So they're looking into this. Okay, clear, please. Will the Orange Menace be the will he be removed from power? Yes. Clear, please. Will the military be removing him from power? Will it be done by the military? It looks like yes. She took a while, but she went into yes. Okay. Thank you. Clear, please. Um, will the people who are unaliving people in Minneapolis, will they have to answer for their actions? Okay, I'm getting yes on that. But it's kind of a yes bordering on maybe. Okay, clear, please. Okay, my final question is, will the Orange Menace offer a pardon to the people who are doing all of this horrific stuff? And that's a maybe. This thing is like wobbling so much. Okay, thank you. Will justice be in the form of human justice, or will it be in the form of human justice? And she's doing the maybe kind of thing. Okay. Um, will justice be in the form of spiritual justice? Yes. Okay. So that's what it is. It's about the justice. So all of this was based on the spiritual or the on the energetic feel that I'm getting for the month of February. It's going to be intense. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. My guides have been saying massive, 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 and we just have to like contend with that. So I hope you have a great day. Thank you for bearing with me. Yeah, the rods didn't work out so well, but the pendulum seemed to work. There was a lot of activity with that. I think Sunshine was preferring to do the pendulum as opposed to the rods today, which is kind of surprising because she usually likes to hit me with them, which actually she did. So yeah. But yeah, I haven't worked with them in a while, but I did the pendulum I seem to do really well with, and the rods are something that I still need to practice with. So, but that goes in here. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much for watching. And sorry this went over a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but such is life. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. And as always, namaste.